Introducing Angelina Nordstrom, they, them, there. Angelina Nordstrom has been serving the community as the president of the Chicago LGBTQ Workers Center and a organizer of the Higher Trans Now initiative with the Chicago Therapy Collective. Angelina was awarded the 30 Under 30 Award by the Windy City Times in 2019 here in Chicago, and the Eastham Award for Outstanding Transgender Person in 2020 for their work in the transgender community. They are best known as a powerful lyricist, poet, public speaker, and writer.
Long gone were the days of my written words, reeking of angst and teen spirit. During those crucial years, the anxiety and angst that culminated from my hostile home environment became the subject of my creativity. While it was the subject of my creativity, it was also the product of my upbringing. Pessimism, downtrodden, restless, hopeless, manipulated, harmed, neglected, bruised, and abused. Unfortunately, I carried these scars into adulthood in the form of unshed tears and boiling red blood. The endless cases of trial and error following my adolescence were only the beginning of my true growing pains. While I was pushed away by some of my relatives, while I had been conditioned to be seen and not heard. While I had firearms pulled on me by relatives. While I had been a survivor of domestic violence. I can say that the remaining 3% of my hope was holding on to the belief that I can experience emancipation within a change of scenery. Like many who say the same about their old stomping grounds, I was ready to bid Tennessee adieu. There was a close call for a breakthrough that occurred in 2010. When I saw my undiscovered self in the mirror, not as an assumed identity that was only established to meet the expectations of those whose love had been conditional, but as Angelina. Angelina has made her debut. While her debut was needed within a world of darkness, Angelina's longevity was going to be extremely short-lived for now, unfortunately due to the lack of universal wisdom. Angelina was only a figment of my imagination, but she was that figment of my imagination that gave me good reason to make the best of any bad situation. As the years went by in Tennessee, the opportunities of leveling up were far and few in between. The final straw for me was the stalemate that I experienced with both of my employers. After ending the complacency that I was forced into, I had Chicago on my mind over the years from my visits, wishing that those visits would be never ending. Once my employment ended, I was experiencing my second bout with homelessness. As quiet as it's kept, some relatives did not want to have me stay with them as I rehabilitated myself, while others provided such a dangerous space. Such a dangerous space that would make Inglewood seem like Andersonville with an edge, and South Shore seem like Lakeview as a roughneck. I was simmering on the advice of the amazing Judge Maybelline Look deep before you leap. After some deep soul searching, I knew that a new day had come. As a cloudy day in September dawned upon me in 2013, I gathered as much of my property as I could and packed it all up. I had only one plan for that day, and it would take every bit of my being to make it happen, whether I'd make it all the way or not. I knew that I had no other choice. I had nothing else to lose. I was tired of playing it safe over the years by visiting and creating my long-awaited escape remotely. With nothing but clothing, my laptop, my phone, and my remaining ounce of sanity, I bid my hometown adieu, and I drove from Tennessee to Chicago. Once I arrived to the Windy City, I knew that it was official. I closed one chapter in my life and began a new chapter by manifesting my own destiny. At this point, I knew that I have always been in control of my own destiny. I officially took my leap of faith. That was my story that led to me finally establishing that existence. Without making that leap of faith, I would still be silenced. One of the first things that most people know me for is by being a performer, being a lyricist, being, a poet, and being someone who speaks up when it really counts. My first piece is called Detox. My system is flawed because my emotions are raw. The new addiction that I saw was for me like it was law. The feeling of having the greatest drug brought about the most natural high. Knowing what it does to me sometimes brings about the deepest sigh. The most euphoric adrenaline rush takes place, I must not lie. But why is such a great feeling such a bad thing? Then I realized I could die. Unrequited love is one of the most painful emotions ever felt, but we're never in full control of the cards that we are dealt. What feels right isn't always right, no matter the benefits, while my system is under the influence of a heartless misfit. Feeling as high as a 747 right after takeoff, acting like a kid at a annual bake-off. Yet dessert was never intended for me to enjoy, but intended to be seen only like a decoy. I've yearned for the element of freedom that I found, but the element took away my life when I fell to the ground. On impact, face first, no vibration, no sound, and I still can't get you out of my system safe and sound. The most wonderful element almost caused me to lose my life. While the whole time everyone knows that I'm not the type to succumb to temptation and the undefined hype. While it was good, the addiction subsided life's biggest strife. Now with a broken addiction and a broken spirit, I can no longer say that I am fearless. Losing my last source of love to another fails to render me tearless. Now I'm scarred, betrayed, and longing rid of his distant nearness. And you can use the emojis if you want to. That was my first piece. And I actually will be performing one other piece for you all. Okay. This one's entitled Untouchable. Although this new wardrobe is as easy as riding a bike, it has its arduous moments, almost like taking a hike. I walk with a new stride of confidence because of the natural element. It's unlike the attempt to draw up insincere sentiment. As I embrace the truth while cleansing my spirit and living an enforced lie, I witness every bit of my insecurities weaken to the sunshine and die. I remain steadfast despite the exchange of my comfortable Vans for glam-toured high heels, and remember that my amazing journey is rendering me invincible from weapons designed against me to Lucifer's appeal. Being armored with courage, confidence, knowledge, and wisdom has made each step lighter. But at times, the steps beyond my intended direction tend to make the walk much brighter. I'm ready for any obstacle, any challenge, for no one can tell me that I'm not strong enough. I will walk alone along this path, never lonely, but as wake as can be. By being vulnerable, I'm showing that I really am tough. Thank you.